It was a quick vest on, vest off. I didn't know what to do. My name is Annie Cooper, and I'm 51 years old. And in 1994, early 1994, I joyously became pregnant with my first child, who is now 22 years old and living in Denver. And I was so excited to be pregnant. I was beside myself. And I'd waited 5 years. Let me rephrase that. I begged my husband for 5 years. I married when I was 23. So for 5 years I begged, could we please have a child? And on Christmas morning of 1993, he was like, yes. And I think it's because we were living at the time in South Africa in his parents' home, and he was feeling kind of grounded and kind of ready for this challenge. So we're in South Africa. We're newly pregnant, and it's like March. Remember, he said yes on Christmas Day, but it took, we had to get pregnant. So I think it was March or April. I'm a little confused about the months because it's the Southern Hemisphere, and so the seasons are inverted. So I think it was March or April, and we decided to travel to see our friends that had introduced us to each other in Botswana, where we used to live. So we drove to northern place in South Africa, up the Cape, and I was so excited to go tell them we were pregnant and to meet with them and see them before we moved to Namibia. So we're driving, and the road, we drive on the left-hand side, so we were driving this way, and the other traffic was coming this way, and so my husband was driving, and he was on this side, and I was on this, is that right? No, he was on this side, I was on this side, and a vehicle was coming toward us, just a regular car. We were in a Land Rover. And the regular car came toward us, and it caught my eye, and I watched it, and it veered toward the middle, and I thought, whoa. And then it veered toward the side, and I thought, whoa. And then it knocked some dirt on the side, and it took air, and it left from that side of the road, and it flipped. I think they were going really fast because that was as many flips as I saw. I think I just did 3, right? That's a lot. And it went through the air over the front of our windshield and landed over there. I was as shocked then as I seem to be now, reliving it. And so we started to get out of the vehicle. And we're in the middle of nowhere. It's South Africa, it's 1993, it's kind of similar to, it's just difficult. There's not a lot of things. And so we leap out of the vehicle, and we start to climb over the fence, and another vehicle stops, and my husband and the other guy say to me, no, don't go. So I guess my husband figured I'm pregnant, whatever, so they go over the fence, and I watch. And I see things happen, in that slow motion way, and a woman is sitting on the ground in a skirt, and her legs are splayed. And I look closely, and half her skull is gone. So I'm ingesting this, and I'm trying to work out if I should go over the fence or not, and it's just all happening. And there were more people climbing over the fence. There's about now 4 people climbing over the fence and running towards these people. And then I see a guy get out of the vehicle. And he's so confused, He's so confused, and he's just covered in blood. And he's just like wandering around away from the car. And then there's the third occupant. And she's on the ground, and she starts to do that strange wander, and strange wander, and strange wander. And I'm taking all this in, and I can't make sense of it, because at that time I didn't even understand why they were wandering around. I was like, why? Why would you wander around? I didn't understand the kind of shock they were in. I didn't understand. And so while I'm wrapping my head around this, and I'm so confused and torn and not sure what to do, my husband's approaching me, but I don't notice him because I'm so, I just want to And he reaches toward me. And he hands me this bundle. And I take this bundle in my arms. And I recognize that it's a baby, but I've already seen. And so I look down, and I'm like, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please. And I look down, and the baby is covered in dirt, and he's got a pacifier in his mouth. And while I'm willing this to all be okay, and I try to find his features under all the dirt that's embedded on his face, I watch the pacifier in and out, 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 in and out. His mother had wrapped him and swaddled him so perfectly and so beautifully that he was literally unharmed by this terrible, tragic accident. And I held onto that baby and I wiped his face, and I dare not remove that pacifier because I just put my ear down and listened to that breathing for all I was worth until an ambulance came 45 minutes later. And I stood there and I stood there and I stood there and I watched as the EMTs began to help the people come out of their situation. All three seemed to be alive and seemed to be functioning. And all I could think was the love and the care and the humanity that went into this baby like my baby. And I handed that baby over to the ambulance, and we went on our way. Thank you very much.